until showtime. One minute until showtime. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Love Voice Radio.
Come on now. Woo. Maxwell. My. My God, has been good. One more time. I am Dr. Lorenza D. Smith, the host of Our Voice on WVSW Radio. Our Voice is the internet talk radio show that advocates grassroots perspective and encompasses the views and the needs of individuals at the local level. We air this on Tuesday, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Title of today's show is Relationship Side, and I have signed an acronym. The S, the I, the G, and the N, languages. You can be a part of it by calling to the chat line to advocate your thoughts. And the chat line is 347-857-4192. Press 1, and I'll make sure I get you on the line by identifying the last 4 digits of your ask your location. Then you can chat on relationship sign, and that's S.I.G.N. languages. You can check us out on the web link where you just want to hear the show. That's www.blogtalkradio.com/WVSW Internet Talk Radio. The shows are broadcast live on several devices. And see, one of the things you got to understand about WVSW Radio, the internet station, we're number one. And we're number one because we're the first radio station that broadcasting on your social media site live. And we're excited because we're having a chance to get the word out, interactive. We need you to truly call in or either tune into one of these live broadcasts. That's Facebook, Big O Live, TikTok Live, using the handle at Dr. L.D. Alberto Smith, and that's DRLMITH on Instagram. We're partners with the Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Sigma chapter of Greenville, Alabama. The Z Squad, Greenville, 1981. That's their handle on Instagram. Z Squad, Greenville, 1981. On YouTube, we're being broadcast. We want you to take an opportunity to go and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and that's the Smith Weight Enterprises 5018. WVSW Radio, the internet station, we're number one, have listeners and watchers in 45 countries on 6 continents. We had 2 countries added recently, and we're real excited, and we posted so everybody can know that we had those 2 countries added, and that's truly a Ghana and Jamaica. So we're really excited about having those countries and being a part of this. We want you to register for WVSW Radio giveaways. What we do is we raffle off hotel stays vary from 3 nights. We need you to submit your name. And if you're on one of the social media sites, I need you to comment in the area that allows you to comment. Just type it in. Since you're joining us, thank you so much. Type in your name. And then we add a little caveat to it. The caveat is that we're offering love offerings. We're from $5 to $100. If your name is in, what we'll do is, whether you win in the raffle or not, we will send you from $5 to $100. It might be a plus. You can might be able to buy a piece of gum or whatever it is, up to whatever the fair bill. We don't mind doing it. What we need for you to do is to send your name along with a means of transaction. These are the 4 that we're using. The 4 in Zelle, you send it to Lorenza D. Smith15@gmail.com. That's LORENZADSMITH15@gmail.com. Sow a seed with our radio station of $1. That's WVSW radio station at Cash App, $ LORENZADSMITH. We really appreciate you supporting what we're trying to do. The show title today is Relationship Signs, and it's broken down into acronym. Relationship, the S in sign is shame. The I in shame is insult. The G in shame is guilt in the sign. And in sign is truly need to be right. These are languages being used. Some expert as using these languages. Some genders are individuals, when things don't go their way, they start using what we call sign language. They'll shame, they'll insult you, they'll feel guilty about bringing it to them, or they'll need to be right and keep browbeating you till they get you where you want. So today is all about relationships, sign language. One of several people that are joining us, and we have quite a few. Thank you so much for being a part of this at an early stage. You have Creston _ 23. Much for joining. Linda _ Johnson 750. Pick 9, which is Coach DP, Dara Pickett, a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I understand you had y'all conclave down in Tampa, and congratulations for a successful conclave, because I know y'all did something awesome as a fraternity for the state of Florida, but basically you did it out of Tampa. So congratulations to your fraternity for serving and making a difference. Thank you so much, DP. We want to give a shout out to this is Athena Green. Thank you so much for joining. JM Stu, thank you so much. You have a user that's joining us. Do you have Delisha? Thank you so much. And we have Willie. Thank you so much. John Baker. Leah, thank you for taking time. Omar, thank you. Mohammed, thank you so much. Alex, thank you for taking time to be here. Jose, thank you so much. Jimmy Scott, thank you so much. Carol White, thank you for taking time. Benjamin, thank you for being here. Another user, Ramirez, thank you so much for joining us. Then we have George Fuller, thank you. Another user. We got many others coming in. Thank you so much. But we're going to get to what we come here for. Just remember, this is a grassroots advocate station. We're going to look at the perspective that and thing that encompasses the views and the needs of our community, of our individuals, our voice. And we're really excited about coming before you now. Relationship sign. That's an S-I-N-G. Let me get it right. I'm sorry. I'm just in a hurry today. That's S-I-G-N. And that's languages. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And let's talk a little bit about languages, because, see, language is something a lot of us use. And we're going to start off with the S. In relationship, when things don't go the way you want to go, you resort to, first of all, sign languages. And the S in sign language, shame. How many of you have been in a relationship when things didn't go the way it's supposed to go? It's an argument, there's a debate, there's a discussion, then you have shame. And shame is being used to kind of humble the other person or control the other person. So when we talk about what is relationship shame, we have to actually define, see what relates to best identifying, explaining shame. See, shame is the intentionally painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed, therefore unworthy of love, belonging, and connection. Have you been in a relationship with someone when you brought something to their attention and they didn't like what you were saying? They try to shame you by making you feel like it's something wrong with you for bringing it to them. Did you experience or have experienced that they're going to let you know, I don't want to spend no time with you because, see, you're toxic, misogynist. You just, you against whatever may be encountered. We're talking about relationships, whether they're romantic relationship or whether they're simply on a job, they're in the community, in an organization, on the workplace. There's people that are already flawed, like, and they're miserable people. They want you to be miserable because you bring something to them. But particularly in a relationship, it always comes down to when you ask someone something that they really don't want to give the answer, so they try to deflect from it. But then when the deflection don't work, then they'll come with the shame, where they make it painful for you to even ask the question. They want to make you feel bad because you question. See, when we're talking about relationship shame, it's relate to connection. So you're trying to connect with someone, trying to have a conversation, trying to get some information so you can be clear on it. They're going to try everything they can to make it different. make you start thinking about the old saying. They said, they're gonna talk so much till they make you stop thinking about the truth. See, they don't want you to get to the answer that you're asking them, because the truth of the matter, they figure if I'm truthful, then you're going to respond to it in a manner that's not beneficial for the relationship. So they try to disconnect, and they use a sense of fear. They use truly make you feel like you're flawed. So too many times in a relationship, shame is just truly the painful feeling of unworthiness, of flawlessness that can prevent people from feeling love. That's what it is. See, your first thing, I thought we was able to communicate. I thought we was in a relationship where I don't have to feel like that now. Wow, I'm saying something because you don't want to respond to it, or a lot of time it's the truth. See, the truth will set you free. So relationship shaming is something that a lot of individuals use when they are caught in their wrongness. See, you have to stand in your wrongness or your caughtness. And when you have to stand, you have to really realize that it can make you seem to be lack worthiness. That you don't have a sense of love. You're feeling that you don't belong no more because they caught you. But you got to remember, you're the one kind of put that in motion. Stand in your caughtness. Do not try to shame your mate, your partner, because and say, I was wrong. And see, what we have to make sure we do in our relationship, we have to understand that this can't allow people to get control when they use shame, taunt you, make you feel bad, or they'll keep talking, they'll keep going there. So when we're talking about relationship shaming, we have to look at truly what the act of shame is. The act of shame is where you subject or someone to humiliation, disgrace, shame, and disreputed. See, a lot of times, and we take humiliation. See, how can you love someone when you will hurt or humiliate them? How can you love someone when you will abuse them? See, love is a gift. But see, when you're in a relationship, when people caught in their caughtness, they resort first to that S of shame, shaming the other individual because they brought it up. And they can do that through several ways. They'll criticize you for bringing it up because you expose what's wrong. Stand in caughtness. Sometimes it's better to address it now so you will be able to function better in the future. Not to hide behind, don't deflect, don't become disillusioned. Don't try to put yourself in a situation where you're not able to stand in your caughtness. Shame is all about doing that. See, shame is all about dealing with the criticism. Shame is all about dealing with exposure. See, shame is looking at your relationship and seeing it in a way that I can address this and I can be successful. See, there's a body shameness. See, there's, we always make negative, inappropriate comments about someone's body size and shape. See, when you get mad, you resort to body shame. Then the next thing that comes into play, to be successful, never hit. And a lot of times in relationship, when it comes where there's trouble in the relationship, the sexual preference always come out. The sexual description of a part always come out. And that normally is a way to hit back. See, we're going to body shame you, so you won't bring that to us. Because, see, I might be caught in my caughtness, but I'm going to make you feel bad for bringing it to me. Financial status is another shaming. See, a lot of time when you're talking about negative and inappropriate comments, people talk about, well, you ain't had no money, no way. You know, I helped you. I brought you up. You know, you broke, whatever you want to say. But the truth of the matter, each one of these negative and inappropriate comments will create a knife wound in your heart. See, because we should focus in our relationship when we're focusing on our internal self, not our external self. And too many times we focus on how good they look, focus about how much money they have. But see, if you don't get that interconnection where your heart and soul connects with that person, they're going to be out there and they're going to be saying, I'm looking for something better. Than when I find something better and I'm still with you, I'm going to shame you and I'm going to make you feel bad. So you really I've been all what I am from day one. But now because you want to shame me in the relationship and you're going to talk about my shape, my size, that before was all right when you was getting what you want. If you caught in your stand in your caughtness, accept it, and don't use body shaming. Don't use negative comments. Don't use inappropriate comments. Do not spend your time making another person feel small, weak, helpless, or frozen to the point they're shocked. They can't understand, is this the person I invested my time, and they invested time in you as well, to be like this? See, our old saying, and we're going to stay with this. When people show themselves, believe what you see. Then I tell you to run as fast as you can. Because when they begin to do relationship shaming, which is the S in the sign language, they ain't gonna care about anything. Because now they're on the defense. They're mounting the defense and they're coming at your heart. And what you have to do is, if it's something that you have done, stand in your coldness, be able to deal with it, take a step back, or to the F, you either got two things that people will do because it's nature. You're going to fight or you're going to flight. A lot of time it's best to flight. You don't always have to fight, because someone that want to shame you, once they get your attention, they're going to keep on doing it. And they're going to keep pressing inappropriate comments. Then they're going to also hybrid focus on the flaws that you have. See, one of the things when we talk about the Love Cafe, we talk about the acronym for love, and then the O is overcoming the flaws that you have, overcoming overcoming the challenges you have, and overlooking the various things that goes on in your life. When they hybrid focus on your flaws, it's time to look at them how you should have looked at them the first time. But see, you couldn't see that because they didn't show themselves. Now it's time to believe what you see. Because if you stay around and continue to take that, then you are compromising your heart and your inner self when you allow that to get into you. This is WVSW Radio. I'm Dr. Lorenza D. Smith, and we're number one. And we're excited again to mention that 2 new countries added to our list of listeners and watchers. And I'm excited because there are others that that slowly I see adding on to the 45. We was 43 last week. Now we up to 45. That's Ghana and Jamaica. We're so glad to have those listeners over there on the continent of Africa for Ghana and in the Caribbean, Jamaica. So truly, thank you so much for supporting what we're trying to do. We're just trying to share the word. The next thing is, what is relationship insult? See, the I in sign is insult. But before we move forth with the insults, we want a relationship insult. We want to present one of our sponsors. We thank this young lady for really wanting to be of what we're trying to do. And her name is Cherie Barnes O'Fair. She's a personal consultant for Bye Bye Bellies.
Getting frustrated. And you've tried everything to get rid of stubborn weight or belly fat. I understand. Help is here. I'm extremely excited. I found out about Bye Bye Belly. Let's talk today. Lesson. Minister Sherelle Shea Barnes O'Fair, personal consultant. The website to contact her is byebyebelly.com/Sherelle Barnes O'Fair. Call or email her at 912-409-5474. The email is SherelleSpeak89@AOL.com. Check out. She'll make it do what it do.
That's Bye Bye Belly. So check it out. If you want down 4 or 5 pounds a week, you get down. Call her, and if you want that, she has the products she can provide. Not only just oral products, but also a oil to put on you to help you lose the weight you want to lose. Now, what is relationship insults? See, when we look at relationship insult, we have to see what is the intent of the person. Remember, we said they're going to intensify what they're saying, and sometimes it's the insults. Sometimes it's just inappropriate language. It's comments. So when you're talking about relationship insults, they are intentional. Don't ever think someone who insults you during a relationship wasn't intent on doing that. See, that's the thing about it. When you go into a relationship, you should be intentional on what you want a favorable outcome in. So you know what intent is. So when someone intentionally insults you, you need to be aware that maybe this might not be where it needs to be. Intentionally hurt you. They may not physically hurt you, but they emotionally through their words. See, you know, they say the most powerful thing is words. Whatever people say to you and say about you can be quite hurtful. Also, relationship insult is an intent to harm someone emotional and mental well-being. They intentionally trying to do that. And this could be a sign of a toxic relationship. The question might be, what is a toxic relationship? I haven't been in a relationship, but they really didn't get to the point of toxic. I'm going to tell you right now, when someone insults you, when somebody do it intentionally, trying to hurt you, that's a toxic relationship. And a toxic relationship, and signs of it is when it involves damaging physical and psychological behavior. Damaging physical abuse and psychological abuse. See, we always talk about physical abuse, but we never talk about emotional and psychological abuse. See, people can do things that become traumatic, and it triggers you somewhere maybe in the future, or it might trigger you that day because something happened previously with you. But they know that because you shared it. So we said, let's not get caught and say the only way you can hurt people in the form of abuse is physical. No, psychological and emotional. You can damage people for the rest of their life. And you have to be very serious. Be careful about people using relationship insult. They're trying to truly tear you down, but to wear you down. They're trying to lower your self-esteem by constantly coming at you. They're trying to control you. Them insults are to control you. Because see, if I hurt that person's feelings, then they'll take a step back. Because if a person that might be passive aggressive, they may take a step back and won't be as aggressive, but they'll try to get back at you in some form. That's why they call it passive aggressive. You also have individuals use insult to beat you into submission. See, I think the biggest fear that comes when individuals talk about submissive, because they're fear that is a sense of losing control. There's always a way that you can deal with submissive, and that means you're willing to work with someone, being cooperative, agreeable, trying to do the best for that person. But when somebody physically, through some form of psychological or emotional behavior that's trying to beat you into submission, that's a control. That's a different thing. They're trying to destroy. To recognize that in every there's always going to be someone trying to create imbalance of power. They want to be in control. And you have to be very aware of. So you have to understand that there's, for example, relationship insults that you may sub to yelling in public. That's humiliation. Verbal insult. See, this can include insults of someone's looks, their intelligence, and their worth. See, you need to understand, you have to be happy with what God created here. And if you allow someone to insult you because they get angry because you didn't do what they asked you to do, and it's not just one gender toward it, it's both gender toward each other, then you're going to lose the ability to understand your worth. You should know your worth. No one else should know your worth better than you. No one. People who are miserable, the relationship, bring that, including relationship insult and humiliation. See, that's a lead thing. They would like to humiliate you, to beat down, let you know that you're not worthy. You have to be aware of it. Other relationships insult is picking out faults. See, they can find out what's wrong with you. They're trying to identify and tell you there's something wrong with you when it's true there's something wrong with them. See, examples of include insults and include yelling, trying to discipline someone else. You cannot discipline a grown person. You can't discipline a grown person. If you try, there are going to be some consequences that's going to lead to some disadvantages for you. And they're not going to be favorable. When you're talking about picking out faults, you point out every fault. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look, the way you speak. This is pointing out your fault. In a relationship that includes, as our Love Cafe says, is you have to overlook faults. Another example of picking out faults is people get defensive, angry, whenever you're trying to correct them. Have you been around someone that you try to correct, they get so angry with you, they become so defensive? A lot of times when you deal with people who use humiliation, verbal insults, picking out faults, they use these things to weaponize past traumas and experience to insult more hurtful. They weaponize these things. They know how to use humiliation because they spend time practicing humiliation. Verbal insults. They know what triggered you to get out of character. Picking out your faults. Yelling, screaming, hollering. They weaponize this to insult you. So truly be understanding that when we're talking about signs, we're talking about a relationship. You got to be able to recognize these signs. First, shame and insults. You have to know exactly where people are coming from. That way you'll know how to deal with them, because you're going to have to deal with them. Because if they keep doing it, they're going to think it's okay to do it. So what you have to do, make sure you understand that their action at you is trying to hurt you. Give a shout out to our next sponsor, L&T Starworth Lawn Service, LLC.
That's right, hardware. Check out L&T Starworth Lawn Service, LLC. The vendor is expert in South Central Alabama. For more information, call Attorney Starworth at 234-300-7401. Again, that's 234-300-7401. And check out L&T Starworth. Your email, Anthony, and you can connect with you. So, look forward to the next room. Ready to repeat. Here we go. Son, ready to rock.
Yo, shout out to L&T Starworth Lawn Service, LLC in South Central Alabama. They're the manicure expert. You can give Mr. Anthony Starworth a call at 334-300-7401. Or you can go to Facebook, type in Anthony Starworth Business. We thank L&T Starworth Lawn Service, LLC, for supporting what we're doing. Thank you so much, Mr. Starworth, for taking time. The next thing we want to focus on is, why do individuals use relationship insult? We just shared what insults are. You want to be successful in your relationship, you have to understand why people use these insults. See, the main goal of relationship insults are you're trying to make someone feel submissive. You controlling them and wear them down in regards to their self-esteem. But why do they use them? Why do individuals use insults? See, insults are hurtful and intentional. And it pretty much deals with your emotional health. See, we're always talking about our well-being and how we must be stable and mature in all of our well-being. But you might be stable and mature in your well-being, but there's going to be someone that you may yourself to be in a relationship with that's going to attack your emotional well-being. You might be as stable as you think you are, but they're going to come at you because they're intentional. They're going to be hurtful, and they're just trying to do harm to your emotional well-being. And if you're recognize this, then it's going to lead to you put yourself in a situation where you're not going to find a relationship. See, when we're talking about people being intentional, being hurtful, being harmful to your emotional health, that allows us to trigger our past trauma and experience. See, they're already doing what they're doing. They're doing it because they want to weaponize through the insults to hurt you. But it also will trigger you that you will realize that I never healed, so I'm feeling that I'm feeling less important. I'm gonna have a low self-esteem because I keep hammering at you. And what you always have to realize that there's a reason why those individuals coming at you. See, the relationship. Because when you use insult and mate retention, it allows you a long-term partner or a mate. So you have to make sure you understand that a lot of times they'll insult your partner and have them worrying about infidelity. Because they know if there's a female and she's worried about infidelity and all she got to do is be triggered when they see something, she's going to leave the relationship. And a lot of times young ladies leave and they're pregnant. So the paternity come into play. And it leads to uncertainty. See, insults could make a woman feel like she can't find a better partner. They keep telling you can't find nobody better than me. That's what they say. So they browbeat, they threaten them, they humiliate them, they hurt them. So that's mate retention. That's how individuals use it in a relationship. Lower self-esteem. See, verbal insult can be used to make someone feel compliant and dependent on their partner by damaging their self-esteem. Have you been around someone that did that? Been around somebody that kept browbeating you, kept insulting you, kept shaming you to understand your own self. See, when you got low self-esteem, you're not the best version of yourself. See, toxic partners or mates may treat their victims like misbehaving children. They didn't say their partner, and they didn't say their mate. They want to treat them like misbehaved children because they're trying to control you. Grandiose. See, some say that constantly putting down could be a sign of grandiose or excessive self-esteem. This is another way people use insults. You continue to put them down. You ain't worth nothing. Nobody else wants you. You don't look that good. Too fat. A lot of things are being said. So they continue to grandiose they keep making it grand what they're talking, so you'll feel bad by yourself. The next thing is relationships monitoring. See, they're monitoring because the insults between friends can help monitor relationships. Insults between friends can help monitor a relationship. You think when the person verbal insults are used to wear down your self-esteem when you're talking about monitoring. So you become compliant and solely reliant on your partner. Have you been there? Have you been involved? Let's give a shout out to our next sponsor. It's truly a blessing to have this young lady here. Her name is Lena Payton Webb, Blue Impressions Publishing.
To share your inspiring story with the world, look no further than Blue Impressions Publishing, the premier publishing company that specializes in creating meaningful and impactful books and journals. Blue Impressions Publishing, veteran-owned by author Lena Payton Webb, offers comprehensive services to bring your vision to life. Their mission is to empower writers, mental health professionals, consultants, coaches, and spiritual leaders to make a positive impact through their publications. Not only do they publish your words, they give you the strategy to be a successful author and earn an additional source of income. So whether you're an aspiring author or a seasoned writer, Blue Impressions Publishing is the publishing company for you. Don't let your story go untold. Visit the website today, yourartisticexpressions.com. You can also call 833-951-2667 to learn more about their services and to get started on your publishing journey. Blue Impressions Publishing, where inspiring stories leave a lasting impression.
My. Give a shout out to Lena Payton Webb, Blue Impression Publishing. They share with you the information. The number is, if you want to connect with Lena, that Blue Impressions Publishing, the number is 933-251-2665. Or go to Facebook, type in Lena Payton Webb, and you can get more information about the publishing company, Blue Impressions. Truly, when we're talking again about our signs, we had an opportunity to address shame, insult. And the next thing is guilt. Relationship guilt is so important because it can arise from many reasons, including social expectations, promises, and concern from a partner's or mate's feelings. It can also be caused by irrational thoughts. Have you been someone who had irrational thoughts? For example, feeling like a burden. Some people make you feel like you're a burden. I'm carrying you all this way, you ain't doing nothing. And to me, that's not a plus. That's nothing but a burden. Not doing enough. You're not doing enough. You're not doing anything. Worried about not being meaningful. They're trying to make you feel guilty. The guilt is being put into place because there's expectations that society may have. There are promises that you probably have made and haven't followed through. And there's a concern about controlling your partner's feelings. So they make you feel guilty. See, guilt can also be a result of staying in a relationship out of guilt. I know they give me fits, but you know what? If I stay in here long enough, they'll change their mind. That's amazing. I was recently run across a situation where the young lady was dating a young man, and the young man had asked that person to marry him, and that person don't want to get married totally, but they said, I'm going to stay around till maybe you change your mind. Now you try to make that person feel guilty for the decision instead of accepting the decision. The problem I have so much, I have with both individuals, because the person that want to stay around and hope that person change their mind or give them the benefit of the doubt, see, that's staying around. The person that's actually told them will not make the efforts to cut it loose, because, see, they feel like if I do, I'm going to lose something. Either you're going to do or you don't. Don't allow you to feel guilty. Don't allow the other person to feel guilty because you're making them feel that way. Because they think if they stay in the relationship, and it's because of guilt, there's going to be negative consequences for both people. As I said, both people are in a situation. You told them no because they asked, they say they want to get married, and they say they don't want to get married, and you told them the best, if they want to get married, let them go find somebody that has a mind of being married. Don't you hold on to them. And they say they're gonna stay around, and you sometimes you got to cut that apron cord. You got to cut that string so you both can move on. Because if not, both of you gonna feel guilty, and then you'll fall into the ability to be guilty. Then you end up you get married, and now you got anger toward each other. Be careful about allowing guilt to arise in your relationship. Don't make your mate or partner feel guilty. Don't make them feel like a burden. Don't have them worried about whether they're doing what they're supposed to do. Worried about I should do more, I'm not doing enough, or what I'm doing is not meaningful. Don't stay in a relationship out of guilt, because it's going to be negative consequences for both people. The end. And it's so important. Why do people need to be right in a relationship, argument, or just in a relationship? Is what we're going to focus after we address the next sponsor. That is truly an awesome group of individuals. Mary Ruth's Restaurant of Georgiana, Alabama.
Friendly environment? Well, what's no better than Mary Ruth's? Mary Ruth's Restaurant, located at 261 State Highway 106 in beautiful Georgiana, Alabama. Food in a family-friendly environment. Mary Ruth's Restaurant offers home-cooked breakfast. All the fixings, you name it, they've got it. And not just home-cooked breakfast. Home-cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. Mary Ruth's Restaurant specializes in a meat and 3 vegetables meal. And meat and 3. Also, hamburgers, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, and much more. Seafood Restaurant has seafood Fridays, barbecue Saturdays, and it's all cold fresh and made from scratch, including the desserts and so much more. Eating good. 261 West State Highway 106 in Georgiana. Mary Ruth's Restaurant. Call today, 334-362-4032. That's 334-362-4032. Mary Ruth's Restaurant. Home-cooked meals, family-friendly environment, great food. Who can ask for more in a restaurant? Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana. Breakfast from 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Lunch from 11 to 2. And dinner from 5 until 9. Barbecue Saturdays begin at 11 a.m. and last until 9. Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana. Home-cooked food with a family-friendly environment. Come on, 11 a.m. until 5 p.m.
Mary Ruth's Restaurant in Georgiana, Alabama, located 261 State Highway 106 West. The number to connect with the co-owners. Co-owners are 334-549-0950. That is Marvin Lala Smith and his wife, Katrina Roper Smith. Both of them are member of the Blue and White family of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, incorporated Zeta Phi Sigma, Zeta Phi Beta sorority incorporated, and the chapter down of Phi Beta Sigma is Zeta Phi Sigma. That's why I was calling it out. So give a shout out to them. Give them a call. Let them know you're coming through. He's posting on Facebook. That's Marvin Smith. He'll be posting the menu. Actually, he takes a picture of his food he had cooked. Check him out. Check them out. They can say they have the best Southern cooking in South Central Alabama. So give them a shout out as soon as possible. Why do people need to be right in a relationship? We're talking about relationship signs. We have shared shame, insult, guilt, and now the end is a need to be right. Have you been ever in an argument or I call it a debate, a spirited debate, and the person that you're debating is determined to be right? No matter what kind of data, no matter what kind of facts, no matter what you say through your experience you share, they want to be right. See, that's another term that's being used constantly, is they have to get the last word in. Have you been in a relationship like that? Do you have a family dynamic like that? Do you have a friendship dynamics like that? Do you have a work dynamic like that? Do you have a community dynamic like that? Do you have a romantic dynamic like? In each of those relationships, you're going to find there's someone who needs to be right, no matter how much information you get to them. Because in their mind, as humans, that's nature. See, they think they have to be right on everything they're saying, no matter how much data, as I said, in fact, that come into play. See, that's that theory of dissonance, a theory of dissonance, and it's a bias. And that bias explains human behavior. Dishonest bias states that we naturally look for evidence that validate what we already believe. See, me to be right is that this is what I believe, and I'm going to find everything to support. I'm going to keep talking. I have to be right, which in turn makes us stronger in our conviction. See, if we need to be right, it makes us stronger. We feel like we have more confidence in the right thing to do. In a spirited debate, you don't have to be right. We can agree to disagree. And too many times, some people get so upset that they takes it to another level because they need to be right, because it's human nature to think you are right all the time, and we're not all right all the time. See, and then we have this other part of is fear of being a loser. See, we don't want to be a loser. See, some people feel like they're losing when they're having a debate. So human nature kick in. The dishonest bias kick in. And they realize they're not winning. So now they continue to debate, continue to try to get the last word in. Because in their mind, if they're losing, they are weak. See, we try to avoid appearing weak. So we will continue to talk. So the fear of being a loser is a reason humans need to be right. Fragile egos. See, people with fragile egos may not be able to tolerate admitting mistakes. So they can't tolerate I'm wrong. So that leads them to distorting reality to protect themselves. That is a fragile ego. And so you ask yourself, how do you deal with people who need to be right? See, being right in a relationship can escalate conflict. And if you cannot deal with conflict resolution, then it's going to turn into a sense of aggressiveness that might lead to violence. Whenever you make people feel unvalued, stupid, or silent, they have a tendency to revert to what they know best because they become in defenses. They're made to seem like they're wrong, which they are wrong. So they need to be right. So they continue on. And if you continue, they continue to feel like they're losing, they gonna feel like the quality of the relationship is being degraded. The quality of this relationship. And see how you deal with people who need to be right is someone who needs to be right in a relationship argument has to understand that agree to disagree. See, you have to agree to disagree. See, if the person or your mate continues to need to be right, you don't need to continue the argument. You got to walk away. Take a break. You might want to say, well, can we talk about this in an hour, 2 hours, or give us a 24-hour stand, okay, so we can talk about this topic, because we know the topic is important. But you need to stop that conversation and talk about it later, because it's going to trigger something that going to lead to possibly some unfavorable behavior. You can use phrases. You might say, well, I think you're right, or I know I'm right. I think you're right, but I know I'm right. See, if you use phrases like that, this helps you to continue the argument without someone getting upset. This is a reasonable way to deal with it. Don't continue to antagonize them. You right, you know you're right. But you say, I truly believe you might be right, but I know I'm right. They can deal with it. Let me give a shout out to MR, and it says Mr. LTM3. Thank you, Mr. LTM3, for joining us and being a part. Give a shout out to our next sponsor. We try to make sure we get everybody in, and a lot of soap gems by Jackson and Grace.
Alabama. Contact Soap Gym by Jackson and Grace. The owner is Miss Jennifer Jackson. Contact number 251-369-1344. On Facebook. Type in Jennifer One Inch Bombshell. Chance of a lifetime. Love it. Straight adage. Mad power. Lotion. And calming lavender sea salt. 1944. Soap Gym by Jackson and Grace.
We're going to thank Soap Gems by Jackson and Grace. Truly a pleasure to work with them. I have a list of the items here that we talk and we always promote for the bar soap they have, which have that perfume and that soap scent smell. It runs at $4, or 3 for $10. Body butter, 8 ounce is $10. 10 ounce is $12. Sugar scrub is $10. Vegan lotion is $8. Goat milk lotion, which we mentioned, $10. Beard oil, and I tell you, I use it and it smells awesome and do a good job on your beard. Pampered foot scrub is $6, and the beard oil is $6. Truly Soap Gems by Jackson and Grace. That's Jennifer Jackson. That's one N in Jennifer. Go to Facebook, type Jennifer Jackson in, or Charlie Angel, and you can DM Charlie Angel or Jennifer Jackson, or give her a call. And it's truly exciting. And that's 251-369-1344. Soap Gems by Jackson and Grace, located in South Central Alabama. Check them out. Some awesome smell. And our last topic we're going to touch on, there's touch bases or something, but since I can rely on my own experience, some of the biggest challenges I have dealt with, even in a relationship, especially when dealing with past relationships with women, and it's women, they always resort to what we call relationship sign language. And it's like you don't know what's going on. See, they use shame, insult, guilt, is an attempt to manipulate you. See, if they figure they talk long enough and they verbally attack you, this will force you to do what they ask you to do. Statement like, all men, men cheat and lie. See, that's an insult to a person that don't cheat and lie, because you can't use your anecdotal experience and put it on all men. But they'll do that to get you where you are manipulated to kind of do what they want you to do. See, women are more proficient at word use to manipulate or stick a knife in your heart. By the same token, women will often try and make men feel ashamed, bad, or guilty. Have you been in a situation like that? For behavior that women do not agree with. They don't agree with what you're saying. That's focus always going to be. They're going to try to shame. They try to insult you, make you feel guilty for what you're saying, and they definitely want to, in essence, want to be right. I need to be right. I'm not saying men don't do this, but I know from my own personal experience. My personal experience is that a lot of women use shame, insults, guilt, and a need to be right. And they masters at that, because if they feel like if they'll distract you from what you're talking about. Then if you're not distracted, they're gonna shame you. They're gonna insult you. They're gonna make you feel guilty for bringing it to them, to the point where that's a control. They learn that young. And I think about my parents, and I think about my mom and how she used to, they'd come in, she'd be yeah. And we sit there as children and just couldn't move and couldn't get involved. As grown men, I still, both of my parents has transitioned now. But the point is, I think a lot of that, when I think of my studies have allowed me to see that mom was really shaming dad. He's been insulted, made to feel guilty, and she needed to be right. So she kept applying the pressure. We didn't understand as children. And you got to remember, when you're a child, you stay in a child's place. Even when you got parents, parents got their own situation going on. You still to them, you still their child. As a grown person, you stay. Don't come jumping in. Well, I think that it ain't a place for you to be because you don't understand the dynamics. I don't care what you see. That don't give you. So that's how to learn how to vilify. They'll try to vilify you, make you feel bad, and you can never win an argument with a woman because after a while, it won't be about what is factual, but who's willing to shift the goalpost, deflect with, but what about, bring up the past, deny reality, and identify themselves to become bulletproof. Did you think about that? Based on Esther Villar, the manipulated man. This is something she said. Now stay alert for side language and the need to be right. See, shame, insult, guilt, tripping, need to be right. If you want a healthy relationship with minimum stress, anxiety, and confusion, you need to learn how to identify shame early. It's not always malice. It's sometimes socialization. But I tell you, to learn young how to. But when on the receiving end, it doesn't matter what the source is. How it come about. See, shaming is an attack on the identity of a man. The cultural expectation of a man. Her expectation for a man. To shame you for not matching it. Insults. You aren't a real man. You're a failure as a man. You're a coward. You're a useless man. These are insults. You're weak. He's got a small package. These are kind of things that are being used. You may have already heard it as a man. Guilt is, if you love me, you could do it for me. These are statements that come. If you love me, you can do it for me. If you really love me, I wouldn't have to ask you over and over again. See, if you really love me, I wouldn't have to ask you. Because you didn't know my needs. I cheat on you because you stopped paying attention to me. Guilt. Need to be right. This is despite evidence. She won't admit being wrong, misunderstanding, and missing the point. She then deflect and redirect the conversation. You ask for an answer, they go to something else. They'll change the topic just because you need to be right. Petty information and socialized misandrous, feminist males also resort to the tactic to win arguments to reflect from the present situation. Try to immaculate you. They keep that tool in their arsenal. The small Johnson. You don't know how to go that long. These are kind of things, are accusation of sexism that's being said. Misogynist statements. Because you got a different opinion or perspective or expectation of accountability. You're asking because you want accountability. The need to be right. So relationship sign language is being used on a regular basis. If you would encounter it, I ask you to make sure you stay alert. You're on top of it, because when sign language come at you, it comes full force. Give a shout out to our next sponsor, and we'll get ready to wrap this up. Hopefully something was shared that you can use. I'm going to give a shout out to a couple people. This is TriStat LLC, one of our sponsors, Mr. William Scott.
TriStat LLC. We provide specialized business and management consulting services. TriStat LLC meets your consulting needs in the industry of engineering, accounting, research, and management service sector. Contact Mr. William Scott at 334-320-5438 or 634-526-0228.
That's TriStat LLC, the consulting firm that meets your consulting need. Mr. William Scott, you can give him a call at 334-320-5438. 334-320-5438. Mr. William Scott. Go to Facebook, type in William Scott, and it'll populate his information. You can send him a DM to let him know how you feel. Can I share with me exactly what you have going on? It's a consulting firm that meets your needs. Whatever your consultant needs, they can do research. Mr. William Scott. We give a shout out to several people joining us that I didn't give a shout out. We got about 10 minutes. Dalton, thank you so much. We have several IDs that's on here. Thank you so much. We had Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have Julius Smith. Thank you for taking time, Julius. You have Omaria Scott. Thank you so much. Laquernaris. Thank you so much. We have P Farm. Thank you for taking time. And we give a shout out to Q. That's Q. Annie Gales. Thank you. Derival, Sylvia. We have Zonely. Thank you. Rosemaria. Larry, thank you. BJ Smith, thank you so much. Liz, Elena, Jean, thank you so much. Jim, Littlefield, thank you so much. Kibiar, thank you so much. Muhammad, thank you. American, is Charles, thank you so much. You have Melinda, Geraldine, thank you so much. F. Groove, thank you. Dr. D. Hillstone, thank you. Reverend, Reverend Hellman, thank you so much. At the bottom, they just joined us. We have Kalia, thank you so much. You have, this is Dr. Telisha Johnson, thank you, Doc, so much. This is Dr. Ty, thank you. Hey, Steele, Kendrick Jones, Bitterwood, thank you so much. Venetia, thank you. Teresa, Gogo, Maurice Smith, Christian, we have Exami, thank you so much. 154, Sanchez, thank you. Dolores Garcia, thank you so much. Solette, thank you. Soletta, thank you so much. Miss Sagittarius, 195, thank you. Rose, thank you. This Jada Brown, to Jada Brown, thank you. Simon, uh, dropping the ball, thank you so much. We have Bray, thank you. Maria, thank you. Pierre, thank you. John Pierre, thank you. John Luis, thank you so much. Alfredo, 670. Kenny, also have the French Bulldog. Robert Teeter, thank you. The Sound Box user, Melinda Charles, Nadal, thank you. Kenneth, Birdie, thank you so much. We have each and every one of those individuals join us. Thank you so much. And then also coming before you as we get ready to close out. See, God has blessed us one more time to be before you. And I'm so excited because, see, for 7 years, we've been able to roll to be where we are. We are WBSW Radio, the internet station. We're number one. We're the first radio station that includes social media. We're broadcasting live from the many sites that's available to us. And we thank you so much for being supporters. And thank you for the 2 additional countries that's added from 43 to 45. Ghana is Ghana. And we have Jamaica. Thank you so much for each of the listeners and watchers over there. Thank you for taking time. Give a shout out to Pat, 66. Thank you for taking time to be here. It's a blessing. But as we get ready to close out, we want to give a shout out to an awesome group of young men who support us on full-time basis. These are the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Sigma chapter of Greenville, Alabama. So we said, thank you, brothers, for doing this. And so we want to play their promo, their advertisement. These are the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Sigma chapter of Greenville, Alabama. Supporting all our programs as a sponsor, as well as we'll give a shout out to each and every one of the watchers and listeners of WBSW Radio, the internet station, whether you're on Blog Talk Radio, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Big O Live, YouTube television. Thank you so much for being a part of this, as well as TikTok. It's a blessing to be here. Hopefully, our title of the show today is Relationship S.I.G.N, and we broke it down to acronym. We said relationship shame, insult, guilt, and a need to be right. It was a family relationship, romantic relationship, a friendship, a work relationship. People use shame. People use insult. People use guilt, and they have to be right. So it's known as a need to be right. So thank you so much for sharing with what we're trying to do here. Truly, it's a blessing. God is so good. And I'm so excited as we get ready to close out. I just want to let each and every one of you all know that I love you all. I'm telling you, I love you. Truly love you. From my heart. I want you to know it comes from my heart. I am Dr. Lorenza D. Smith, the host of Our Voice, the grassroots talk show that focuses on our needs, focus on our aspirations in the community, block by block. Truly, thank you so much. And as we get ready to close out, I'll tell Dr. Ty, come back again on our next show, which will be tomorrow. We will have a show on tomorrow, the Wednesday night show. We're just going to look at You Need to Know. It's the show tomorrow. Check us out, and we have set a time. It's going to be an early show by 5 o'clock. We're going to do it tomorrow. You Need to Know. We had Tell the Truth prime time, but the hosts we hadn't made our connection. So we'll do the 5 o'clock show. We might not do the 7 o'clock show, but we'll see. But the 5 o'clock show is the one you need to get to first. You need to know. We got an awesome topic we're going to talk about, because we're just going to focus on what is going on in our communities. We're going to focus on our community needs. We're going to get to the grassroots level. Thank you so much for being here to support us. And as we get ready to close out, I was checking out some music earlier. We don't own the rights to the song that you hear from us, but we just like to play music that really address what we're trying to do. And this one, I thought was real important, because it's something that really will slow and let you appreciate your family, appreciate your friends, because we have to love one another. We have to stop the violence in our community. We have to work to making sure our children are prepared to be successful. This is what we got to do. But what we need to make sure they will understand, we're all in this together. So we don't own the rights to the music, but we're going to play this as we get ready to close out. And I'm really excited about being able to play this.
I have decided I know he's looking down, so he won't let you go if I got provided what I need and what I want. I'm gonna do what it takes. Something about his love that makes me wanna please.
There's something about his love that's going to make me do what I need to do. Take care of my family, love one another, and learn to make a difference in our community. And as we get ready to close, I want to say to you, because we always work to be hashtag in front of responsible, make it do what it do is a hashtag. Keep it grinding, you got to keep at it, and we're going to keep doing it. So we'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You need to know. We're going to make it do what it do. Truly, I love you. Because, see, I'm showed you my love from my heart. And I want to say to you, I love you, and ain't a thing you can do about it. Have an awesome rest of the day. We'll see you on tomorrow. We'll see you on tomorrow. Have a good night.